On a September morning in 2007, I opened my eyes on this planet Earth. I saw my dad giving anesthesia to my mom, and my mom was performing her own C-section. Just kidding. Here the story takes another twist. As I grew older, I began to realize the pressures and expectations of living in a household where medicine was a constant theme. When I was 4 years old, I accidentally cut my foot on a piece of glass. My mom rushed home and took me to the hospital where my dad worked. There, he stitched up my foot and he explained the process as he did it. With that, throughout the 14 years that I've been alive, each time that I have injured myself, in turn, I've also received a thorough explanation on how to treat it. Unfortunately, being a doctor is a demanding job. So from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., I don't get to see my mom or my dad. Over time, I had to force myself to become independent. After school, I'll usually arrive home to an empty house. To keep busy, I'll work on my homework, which thankfully I never required much help on. Then, the pandemic hit. Schools shut down. Everything stopped. But my parents didn't. They worked constantly, and to help them out, I took up chores around the house. I learned to cook, I learned to clean, and I learned to maintain a proper household. In addition to independence, I've also felt extremely pressured to live up to my parents' success. Starting from a young age, both my parents have been good at everything, whether that be school or sports or the creative arts. And most of my relatives assume that I'm that way as well. When they call, they'll ask, "What are you doing?" I'll simply respond, "Oh, nothing much." In return, I'll receive a breakdown of my parents' busy schedules and what they did when they were my age. Alongside that, I constantly think about what I can do to positively impact the world as my parents do. I feel that whatever I do, it can never amount to the magnitude of what they do. They save lives daily. They manage to juggle their hectic lives with their 2 kids, jobs, social obligations, and they still manage to be good at everything. Their excellence leads me to an idea of the person I aspire to be. In school, I'll maintain a high GPA, and I'll immerse myself in whatever I do, whether that be school or sports or music. Excellence is not the only thing I feel I've been pushed to accomplish. Since my parents themselves are both physicians, they have deliberately exposed the fields of healthcare to my older brother and I. Last summer, my mom enrolled me in a summer camp titled Mini Med School. No, I am not joking, Mini Med School. There we studied 9 hours per day, and each day was focused on one area of the body. My 22-year-old brother at Georgia Tech was contemplating his major during his early college years. He took up some extracurricular activities because he didn't have many when he was younger. Inevitably, he did end up pursuing a healthcare pathway. He explained to me that since medicine was the only thing he knew, he had no other professional experiences to base his decision off of. Since our household did not have any professional diversity, my brother chose the only path that he knew. Put simply, professional diversity means a variety in career. Some households have plenty of it or they have a lack of it. But it doesn't just specifically have to be 2 doctors, like in my case. It can be 2 exterminators or 2 veterinarians. A lack of professional diversity leads to a sense of tunnel vision. Like in my case, I only get exposed to a healthcare pathway, so I get 0 other exposure to other careers around me from home. Professional diversity in a household is necessary in order to maintain an idea of more than just one career. Obviously, I only get one perspective from home, but I still have time to decide on a career instead of just inevitably following my parents' path. Starting from a young age, I took it upon myself to forge my own path. I started taking dance classes, coding classes, and art classes, though those specific ones didn't go too well. I even tried exposing myself to more extracurricular activities as I grew older to prevent the dreaded tunnel vision. As I've had the opportunity to learn, professional diversity isn't a necessity in a household. And as you have had the opportunity to learn, exposing ourselves in such a way can be difficult. However,